Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Nick and Nolan Experience Sports Talk Show. Since our last episode, there have been a few very exciting developments in the world of sports. So today we're going to start with predictions for UFC 250 tomorrow night. Then we'll talk about when Fight Island is likely to host its first fight, news about Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal, and the final decisions on when NBA and MLB could return to play. All that and more coming up here soon, but first let's start with UFC 250 tomorrow night.
Good fights tomorrow, bro. I'm so excited. So excited.
Evan Dunham's back. First fight. It's been a while. His record isn't too great, but
that's a name.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Evan Dunham's a vet. But yeah, Herbert Burns, that's
a tough name for Burns.
It's no joke. I think I forget what his record is. He doesn't have that many fights. But yeah, that's a good test, and what a first fight too. Like, I remember back when Evan Dunham was like main card, kind of like way up there.
Wasn't that like 10, 12 years ago maybe?
Yeah, it was long. He's been around a long time. He's back in like when WEC and all that was still around.
Mm-hmm.
We both have Burns taking it, but
Evan Dunham's 18-8 and 1.
Yeah.
He's only 38. I feel like he's like 47. That's how long he's been around. You know what I mean? Like you would think he's older.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like Vitor Belfort and all those guys. Like you would think they're older, but Vitor started when he was like 18.
Mm-hmm. Same with Overeem. You know what I mean? Overeem just turned 40 a couple weeks ago, and
he's been fighting he wants to fight for 25 years.
He's been fighting since I've been born, and that was in 1998.
Yeah, it's just him and his brother have just been through everything, and Pride, Break Force, and they've been.
Like you said, it's a big test for Herbert Burns.
It's a big level test for sure.
We both have him winning.
Yeah, I don't see him really finishing unless it's quick. I think Evan's a vet, so he knows how to survive. But I don't know if he clips him or, if he gets him on the ground, you never know. Evan's no joke on the ground either, but you never know with these new guys. It could be a new school versus old school type thing, and we just see like, oh man, like this Herbert Burns dude's the real deal.
This fight to me could possibly end up like the Matt Brown and Baeza fight.
Yeah, same kind of old school versus new school.
Yeah, I mean that's how I see it, and I think Burns. I have him winning by TKO. I think he does clip him later in the round, maybe like third round.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Dunham's gas tank is. He hasn't fought in a while. So it's going to be interesting to see how his body's holding up and how the weight cut might have affected him and stuff like that. But then we got Alonzo Menifield, Devin Clark, next fight. That's a good one. I don't think that lasts very long, but it's a good fight.
I have Menifield winning.
Yeah, we both got him by knockout. I don't see it going very long. They both have a lot of power. But I think Alonzo's power is just he's going to catch him, and I think it'll be probably first, maybe second round. I think they're just gonna go out there and bang. Maybe not. Usually when I think it's going to be a good fight, they turn out to be just boring, or I try not to jinx fights like that. Like there's no way that Derek Lewis, Francis Ngannou could be boring, and then it's one of the worst fights in UFC history.
I saw Devin Clark on a Twitter, like on one of the Twitter sites I follow. He said that he wants to end the hype, so he seems primed and ready for this fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that'll say stuff like that. Like, was Kelleher wanted Sean O'Malley after his last fight? I was like, you don't want that. Like, you got power, but you don't want that. There's a lot of guys. There's some guys that can do that. Like, there's been a few that can like derail the hype train, kind of, but it's not very often. Like Aaron Pico had a huge hype train in Bellator, when he got slept a couple times. It's like, yeah, kind of slow it down a little bit. Then we got top 5, Juicy Formiga and Alex Perez. That should be a good fight.
I have Alex Perez winning by submission.
I think Formiga's like number 4, I want to say. He's up there. Him and Figueiredo went back and forth, I think twice. I think they fought twice. And they were both like just stand and bang fights.
Mm-hmm.
Perez is good too, but I think Formiga's he'll kind of be a gatekeeper for the top 5 to kind of see who's gonna burst onto the scene.
You think it's gonna be a big test for Perez?
Yeah, not as big as I would like, because Perez has been promising and Formiga's not the greatest test, but to break into that top 5, that's the guy you need to go through, because you got Figueiredo and Benavidez fighting. So I mean, other than that, there's not much. You got who's the other one? Brandon Moreno, I think. But yeah, that's who you got to go through in that division. Formiga's been at the top for a while now. I don't think he'll really pose a problem to the 2 guys that are in the title fight, but he's up there.
He fought Benavidez in 2018 at the Ultimate Fighter 28 finale, and he lost in round 1 by KO.
Yeah, Benavidez messed him up, but I think I want to say he's fought Figueiredo twice, and I think Figueiredo either won. I know he won at least one of it. He won the last one. I think the other one was way earlier, but yeah, I think Formiga takes that one by decision. I don't think they both have power and technique to finish, but I don't know. I think that'll be a good one. I honestly would have rather seen that in a main event than the Calvillo main event, but that's for another time. We got Charles Byrd and Maki Pitolo. That's another one. Byrd is a big name. He's kind of another sleeper. Like, it's him and like Jeff Neal, I think, are kind of like dark horses. That Jeff Neal obviously much more, but Bird's another one. He's coming up. Not really getting talked about all that much, but he's
you chose Bird by decision, and I got Maki Pitolo by decision. I was like, I couldn't choose which one, so I decided to go with Maki.
Yeah, I've been watching Charles for a while, and every time he comes out, he's impressive. He's getting better every time, and it's scary sometimes when you see you'll see little flashes of like, oh wow, that's what his potential is. And if he puts it all together, he could be a problem in like the top 15 soon.
Bird's 36 years old too, so age is gonna catch up to him. So.
Yeah, it's a little late to be making this big of a run, but you never know. Some guys think of obviously it's a different scenario, but Randy Couture, Daniel Cormier winning belts when they're over 40.
Mm-hmm.
It's
better late than never. It's what they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's older but wiser. So it could be that kind of thing too, where he's had enough experience and now he wants to make one more run. Then we got Brian Kelleher, Cody Stamann. Cody's got something to fight for this one. It's gonna be hard to watch that one.
It's going to kind of this fight's gonna kind of remind me maybe of Harris and Overeem,
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's gonna suck if he loses. It's gonna suck, but if he wins, it's gonna be awesome. I love Brian Kelleher, but with the loss of your brother, that's kind of it's gonna take a toll on him mentally. But
I love seeing Kelleher tweet at him. So I normally don't do this to people I'm fighting against, but like I'm thinking of you and Harrison, and none but respect and gain a fan from that. Just
from staying in the fight, like that's a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
That would take most people out, and we'll see. It's kind of like the same thing Dana was saying about Walt Harris. We're going to see what kind of man he is. Like going into this, nobody should have to go through that and then have to fight a couple days later. But if he can push through and knock out or finish or just even beat a guy like Brian Kelleher by decision, it'll show that he's mentally strong and deserves to be up there with, the top guys in the division. And then we have Ian Heinisch, Gerald Mearshart, which almost got canceled, and I was so disappointed because I love Ian Heinisch. I always have since he came in. He's a problem.
Yeah, for that middleweight division, man, it's open.
Oh my God! Beyond the top 15, it's so good. Like Gerald has good fights and bad fights. Ian, I think he might have lost his last one, if I remember.
Yeah, he lost his last two actually.
Oh yeah.
He fought Brunson at 241, and then he fought Omari Arkhamedov at 245.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I remember that Brunson fight. I was disappointed. I thought Ian was going to run through him.
But I mean, it's 13-3.
Oh yeah, he's still got plenty of time. Gerald's a big name too. You do not want to be on the ground with Gerald, but
he beat his last fight at 248, UFC 248. He beat Darren Wynn. But I remember that submission.
Yeah, it was a sick fight.
I think Wynn was winning that fight too, and I think Mearshart just caught him.
Yeah, it was a big size difference. Wynn was kind of winging, and he was kind of just trying to knock him out the whole fight. And Mearshart was just being more technical with it, and then caught him in the submission towards the end of the fight, I think. But yeah, Deron Wynn's another one. It's weird that he's at that division because he's so small, but he makes up for it. He's got power and he stays in there with guys. Every fight he's been in has been close. It makes no sense with that big of a size difference.
Isn't he DC's training partner?
Yeah, he's one of DC's closest friends. But that's going to be a good one. That'll be a big level test for Ian for sure. Even though the gatekeeper Brunson was too much for him, this Gerald one's going to be another one that kind of shows, if he's there or if he needs a few more lower level fights, or if he's just not, if he's not this kind of caliber of a fighter. And we got Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres, Chase Hooper. Is Chase even 21 yet?
I think I want to say he's 20. He's 20. He's still 20.
September 13th, he turns 21. That's crazy.
Dude, it's insane. I love Chase Hooper, man. Love him.
He's over a year younger than me. That's so it's just weird seeing it with all the sports. A lot of the starting quarterbacks in college football are younger than me. I'm at that point.
Yeah. Welcome to the club, man. Welcome to the club.
It's so disappointing. I'm oh my God, I'm old now. There's guys playing. I'm used to seeing guys on TV oh, I want to be like that when I grow up, and I'm damn, I'm older than you.
That's like me. That's like me with NBA. Jason Tatum and Lonzo Ball. I graduated the same year as those guys, so seeing them Jason Tatum especially, seeing him he's probably one of the best under 25 NBA players, and he's crazy. Luka, 20 years old, 21.
Yeah, it's.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Football, you got guys younger. I must say, I'm trying to think who's
the big. There's some big. I think Jalen Hurts is younger than me.
Exactly my point. It's so weird, dude.
Yeah, he's a few weeks younger than me.
Yeah.
It was weird watching him at Alabama, in the national championship game. I'm I'm older than the starting quarterback in the national championship right now.
Chase Hooper, though, dude.
It's going to be another one, though, because his stand-up is not very promising. When he fought, what's his name?
Daniel Tamer?
Yeah, when he fought Tamer, I was oh my God, this kid's going to get knocked out because he doesn't,
He got cut, dude.
Yeah, he got messed up, on the feet, but then it went to the ground, and that was it. Caceres can stand. He's karate.
I love Bruce Leroy, man. I do. I mean, he's been a gatekeeper, man. Like,
Yeah, like gatekeeper into the UFC, not even really like into the ranks or anything. Like
yeah,
he got up there. I think he was top 15 at one point. But like
yeah. And
it's
now
just
he's.
I think if he loses this one, he's done.
Did you see him go to like Bellator or anything like that?
Yeah, I could see it. Probably Bellator, one, PFL, something like that. He'll go somewhere.
I
But
mean,
I
he's a
think just
name.
this
People
UFC
know
level
him.
competition is just too much.
15-12, man.
Yeah, it's too close. I mean, there's women in bantamweight and the other divisions too that have like losing records or like even records. And it just depends. Like Mark Hunt's record is awful and he's a legend.
You think he's a legend?
Yeah. Mark Hunt? Oh my
Yes.
god. Please don't argue this. All right, let's move on.
I'll let you have your opinion.
Let's move on before I get upset. Who's in? Oh, Sugar Show's back. Sean O'Malley, Eddie Wineland.
Another big test for a guy on the come up.
Oh yeah, this will be O'Malley's talking a few more fights, and he's up for the title. Which slow down, but like you gotta get. He's 45, right? So you gotta think Jeremy Stevens, Zabit, Calvin Cater, Holloway, Ortega. You got to get through all those guys and more.
Exactly.
Like Korean Zombie, like there's a lot that you got to get through. Eddie Wineland he's good, but he's not the top 5, top 10 of the featherweight division.
But it's a good test to see where the Sugar Show is, man.
Oh yeah, if he destroys Eddie, then it's like, hey, let's give this guy top 15, top 10.
I think they're gonna. If he destroys Eddie, like I feel like they're gonna take it a little slow because he's what 25.
I hope they do. I would hate to see them rush him. Like he's
I've noticed
25.
I've noticed that they've like the guys who break out like this, they give him they'll give him like a top 5 opponent, and it's like, dude, you gotta slow down, like.
Well, yeah, we've seen it. Like Darren Till got rushed into a title shot, and that got bad. Johnny Walker again. I think I break this up every single show. But another one, they rushed him. He was like, "Oh wow, you knocked out Misha Serkinov. Here's Corey Anderson." Like that's 2 very different levels. Yeah, Corey's chin sucks, but like
wasn't Corey ranked like top 8 maybe in the light heavyweight division at that time?
Yeah, something like that. I know he was in the top 10. I forget exactly where he was, but he was gonna. If Johnny won that fight, he might have been front runner for a title shot. Like after Reyes, it probably would have been Johnny Walker next, if not before. I don't remember exactly the timing of that, if it happened before or after, but
I feel like they're just gonna keep it slow with O'Malley.
Yeah, like give him somebody between 15 and like 12. Like
And then go on from there. If he wins out with these, then you got maybe a top. I would say maybe 7-6, maybe top 5, like the 5th. And then if he wins that, then that's when you start getting the Max Holloways, and you know what I mean.
Well, I'm looking at the rankings right now. Sadiq Yusuf is 15. That's a huge test.
Exactly.
But you got Sadiq, you got Ryan Hall is 14, who's an absolute nightmare. No one wants to fight him. Aldo is at 13 still, even though he's at bantamweight now. You got Arnold Allen, Ige, Shane Burgos is number 10. Like that's how tough that division is.
Mm-hmm.
The top 10 is terrifying. Jeremy Stevens number 9, Josh Emmett number 8, Frankie number 7, Cater number 6, Yair number 5, Korean Zombie 4, Zabit 3, Ortega 2, and Holloway 1.
Man,
that division is horrifying.
I love Zabit, man. Zabit's my dude.
I want to see him lose. I don't know why. I want to see him lose. like ever since he came in, he fought Kyle Bochniak when he came in. That was such a good fight, and Kyle was so close. Like he hurt him a few times, and then Cater started to beat him, but it was only 3 rounds. It was so disappointing. I honestly hope they give him Cater again. Like give him Cater 5 rounds, see what happens.
That'd be a good fight, man.
Cater just destroyed Jeremy Stevens. Like
Man,
he's up there. Like you give Cater, I don't know. He's number 6. You got Yair, Korean Zombie. Who's Korean Zombie fighting? I feel like he's fighting someone. But there's not really, unless you give him Ortega, which would be a good fight, because assuming Volkanovski gets Holloway next again.
dude, I'm gonna be mad if they don't give Bless his rematch because I mean
It
he
depends
was.
on the whole Fight Island thing, and if
We'll get to that. We'll get to that because I'm so excited for that, bro.
It's a couple weeks, could be 3 weeks away. We'll get to that in a second. Neil Magny, Anthony Rocco.
I love Neil Magny, dude. I don't know why.
Like him. I like his comeback. I haven't liked him in a while, especially like when he fought Ponzinibbio. That kind of just like confirmed, like my opinion.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word. But when he came back, he looked good, and I don't think Rocco is going to be anything really. Like he's good, but
I mean he destroyed Li Jiang in his last fight, man.
yeah, and Lee's a big, he's a big test. He's not a pushover at all. But yeah, Magny looks good. I don't see him being top of the division good. Like I think if he fought Ponzinibbio again, it would be the same story. But he's up there. I think it's just going to be a matter of how long do you want to keep fighting just random guys. Like
do you see him breaking in maybe top 10 of the welterweight division?
Maybe 10, yeah.
Maybe be a gatekeeper for the.
Let me take a look at the rankings. Jesus, top 10 is scary.
I know.
I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Luque.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you gotta think like he was beating guys like Carlos Condit, beat Johnny Hendricks.
Well, Johnny Hendricks was also on steroids, and when he got off, he was nothing.
That's true.
Once USADA came around, Johnny Hendricks went bye-bye.
But he beat Kelvin, too, when Kelvin was at welterweight.
Yeah, but Kelvin's a whole different story now.
Yeah, it's a whole different person now.
But yeah, I want to see Jeff Neal, Robbie Lawler at welterweight for sure. Like I would say give him Jeff Neal, but I think Jeff Neal would run through him. And I want to see Jeff Neal, Robbie Lawler. Make that a 5-round fight, please. Like I know Robbie hasn't been the best lately, but please make that fight.
Well, like I said, like he fought literally at UFC 215. He was the co-main event for against Dos Anjos.
Yeah, he got up there. He got close, but again, he's kind of like a Cerrone type thing. You get real close, and then it's too much.
But I love Neil Magny. I hope he gets the win tomorrow, and I think I picked him winning. Yeah, we both picked him winning by decision.
Yeah. I don't think he finishes. I mean, unless it's a submission, maybe.
Yeah.
You got to remember too. Rocco was, or maybe still is. I don't think he is in a relationship with Kayla Harrison, who's one of the best submission artists on the planet. So you got to think they worked on the ground and kind of trained together. Kayla Harrison is a monster. Cannot wait for PFL to come back and watch her just run through everyone again like she did last season. I was so disappointed they canceled their season. I watched every single one of her fights. Like, this woman stands no chance of beating you. Then we got what I think should have been a main event. I want to see this be a 5-round fight so bad. Corey Sandhagen, Aljamain Sterling.
This should have been the co-main event on this card, dude.
Yeah, easily. If not, make it co-main and make it for the interim belt.
Exactly. We both have Sandhagen winning, but I mean, I could see Sterling winning. Like this is so close of like you can choose one side or you can choose the other. Like, and you're like you have. I don't know. It's that close to a fight. Like, this is going to be a war, dude.
It's a very high level test for Sandhagen. Like
It
he's
is.
been tested, but Aljo is another. He's kind of top 3 level test to see like, do you really deserve a title shot? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of at that point. Corey's proven himself enough. He's underrated as hell, but like he's this is the perfect fight for him. Like to prove himself and then say, I want the winner of Jan and Aldo if they run that.
Like how I think we said this a lot on the last pod is this I feel like the winner of this fight should fight Jan for the title, in my opinion.
I think they'll do it. I think they'll give it to Aldo just with the politics of the UFC.
Because it's a name.
Yeah, Aldo's a big name. It'll sell because Jan isn't that big of a name, like at all for casual fans.
But he,
And Aldo is because he was so
though.
big for so long. But even still, though, I don't think maybe you main event a fight night with that. You're absolutely insane if you main event a pay-per-view with Jan versus Aldo.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a co-main event fight.
Yeah. That or put it on a big fight night with somebody,
Like
with
an
a big.
ESPN card or ESPN Plus on.
Yeah, like some kind of fight, either whether it's on Plus or ESPN. Um, even if you put it on ESPN, so more people can watch and give Jan a bigger name if he wins. Like, oh
Yeah.
my God, this guy just beat Aldo, and there goes your career. Like it's big. Just like, I mean, not quite as big as when Connor slept him in 13 seconds and just boosting his whole thing more, but that'll be big for Jan if he beats Aldo in any setting, really. Even if he's on a co-main of a pay-per-view with a big main event, say, if they end up doing Usman versus Burns and then put them on the co-main, like something like that, it could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Glass Chin, Cody Garbrandt, and Rafael Sunsao.
I chose Cody on this one. I feel like if this fight I could see it. Like Cody has that power to knock you out in the first round, but if it goes any farther than that, like I think Rafael's gonna win this fight.
If he gets in an exchange with Rafael, he's going to sleep. If he doesn't land right away, and we've seen guys bait him into that. TJ did it. There's every guy he's fought has done it. They bait him into get that. All right, let's stand and bang, and then you sleep him because he gets into it like, all right, let's go, and then he gets slept. Rafael is not really known for knocking people out. He's more, kind of decision submission fighter. But if he gets into that kind of thing, do you see how big Cody's beard is? I think that's kind of like a padding thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Cody hasn't won since
since Dom, I would imagine, right?
Dom in 2016, man. That's insane.
Yeah, Pedro Munoz slept him the last time he fought, and TJ got him twice.
Yep.
Yeah,
and Rafael's lost twice too. So I mean, one of them's gonna get a win. So
yeah, Rafael's another one. He's not really gonna be anything, but it'll be big for him if he beats Cody. I mean, it's kind of a decent boost because Cody's still a big name because he's known as the little guy that knocks people out.
That's why I feel like he was. This is why this is the co-main, which I feel like they should switch this fight, make that the third fight on the card, and have.
Yeah, that easily. I could honestly see putting Sandhagen as the co-main, and even putting O'Malley as the third, and moving Asuncao and Cody to the second.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. But I'm not. I don't make the cards. So.
Then we got the main event, the GOAT, Amanda Nunes, Felicia Spencer. I looked at the odds on this. It's almost worth you'd be dumb to bet on it, but
I know
if for some reason Felicia pulls this off, it'd be a decent.
Exactly, dude.
It would be. I mean, we'll see on the next one if I should have done it or not, because I'm not going to. But
what is it? Was Amanda like minus 650?
615, I think I saw.
615, yeah.
And Felicia's like plus 400 something.
Mhm.
That's
I
huge.
mean, I feel bad for Felicia Spencer because like she's a good person, man. Like
Oh my God, I love her.
she's a math teacher. I was listening to Ariel earlier. Like she's a math teacher. I saw also she's a math teacher or something like that. And I mean, she's just like I just feel bad because she fought Amanda, she fought Cyborg. You know what I mean? Like those are two big names. And I mean, she's
That's
super talented.
that's what you want. Like she took Cyborg to decision.
I know, I
That's
know.
insane.
And I think that's what gained a lot of fans from that fight against Cyborg.
Yeah, and that was her first, I want to say her first fight in the UFC, wasn't it?
Yeah, first or second.
Yeah, she's like she's been tested, and this is another like it was either her or Megan Anderson, and she beat Megan. So
Didn't she take the fight because no one else was going to fight Cyborg?
yeah, it was either late notice or just no, because nobody wants to fight her. It's
Yeah.
even Jermaine Durandame was like after she quote unquote won the title off of Holly Holm. Uh, she was like, "Oh yeah, no, I can't," because like she heard that Cyborg was coming to the UFC. She's like, "Oh yeah, no, I got an injury. Take the belt back." Like Jermaine is one of the best strikers in the world, and she wanted nothing, like no part of Cyborg at all.
That the Rams fight with Amanda, like if she had a ground game, dude, if Jermaine had a ground game,
If she knew
that
at
could have
all
been
what
different.
she was doing, it could have been different.
Because I think Amanda got tagged.
That
That's
one
why she
up
took
kick
it.
was really scary. Amanda had the
Mhm.
fight in the bag, and I was like, all right, stay away. Like when she was like, she had Jermaine down, and Amanda was kind of like fighting through the guard, like trying to get down with her, or just standing right in front of her. And I was like, all right, just stay back, like waste a little bit of time, like kick her legs or something. And she went in and got caught right on the chin with an up kick. I was like, no, like what are you
Yeah,
doing?
I love Amanda though.
Yeah, she's the goat for sure. She's beaten everyone that's held the title. Like
She's probably my top five favorite fighters in the UFC right now.
she's yeah, and like Kat Zingano is my favorite female fighter, period. But in the UFC, Amanda without a doubt. Like there's
I
been
like
some other
Amanda.
ones like with Misha, and I never really liked Ronda all that much.
Mm-mm.
But like I liked when Misha was in there, Holly when she was on top, like when she was coming in and everyone was doubting her. I was telling everyone, I was like, Ronda has never fought a striker. Like you guys are not seeing this.
Yeah,
Like Holly is a 16-time boxing champion. Like
Misha was so fine, man.
I saw her fight once or twice. I saw her win the belt off of Marlis Kunin. I was there when she did it.
Oh yeah, we're decent.
Yeah, it was cool. She was I always wanted to see her beat Ronda so bad. That was such a good rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
And like I thought that one time where she took her to like the third round or whatever it was, I was like maybe this is it. Like maybe Ronda's got like bad gas tank or something, and Misha can take over. And then she gets tapped again. I was like, ah, damn. But no, she's doing good though. She's with I think one or right,
uh,
yeah, one or
yeah.
Ryzen. I forget what it is. I think it's one. Um, but yeah, she's doing good. She's got a few kids. She's living in Singapore, I think. So
Living the dream.
it was hard to see her fight Amanda at UFC 200 though. I was like, that's not how I want to see you go
Oh,
out.
wasn't UFC 200 that one though when the octagon was yellow?
Yeah, they had like gold kind of.
Oh my god, that was so ugly, man.
It was one of the most stacked cards I've ever seen, and the fights were like awful. Like the
um,
highlight of it was Cain Velasquez wheel kicking Travis Brown.
isn't that when Brock? That's when Brock fought Mark Hunt, huh?
Yeah, and then Mark Hunt is still complaining that Brock was on steroids. It's like you kind of asked for it. Like it's Brock Lesnar. Like it's gonna happen.
All right, so let's transition over to your opinion on Colby leaving ATT.
I think it was the right move, especially with everything going on. You got Masvidal starting with him. You got Poirier kind of starting with him, and Dan Lambert's like Colby said in his interview with Ariel. Dan Lambert's he's been there for everybody, and just he can't have that kind of like thing in the gym. And it's good by Colby. Like Colby, he does a character on camera and everything, but in real life, I've heard multiple people say Colby's like the nicest guy you'll ever meet. So he
Hmm.
probably knew Dan has been so much for him. Like he said, like Dan gave him a place to live, let him train there right out of college. So, I mean, the least he could do, because Colby's going to have to fight somebody. If Masvidal gets up there, Colby wants the belt. So
I heard Colby versus Tyron.
I doubt that. I don't see any reason. Like, yeah, they're both coming off losses, but Tyron's coming off of getting destroyed twice, and Colby's coming off of a close fight with the champion. Like,
Which if you like, I honestly don't think if he would if his we don't know if his jaw broke, but I have a feeling his jaw broke. I like I think he could have won that.
if it went to decision without his broken jaw, I think he would have won. Especially with how the judges' scorecards were 3-1, 3-1, and 2-2. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think he would have gotten that fifth round because he wasn't doing bad until Usman caught him in the fifth, and that was because his jaw was messed up. So, but I think it was the right thing. I don't know how true the whole Colby Covington Incorporated or whatever he's calling it. I'm not sure how that is, but
Bro, he's so funny, dude.
it's a good thing. It's not Connor level, but it's good. It builds his name. He could take
I
it
mean,
anywhere.
he destroyed Lawler. I mean, I should say destroyed.
He destroyed Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, I still love Robbie, but like I don't know. To
It
me,
was hard to watch. It was very frustrating. I was screaming at my TV.
same. I was like, do something, dude. Like
Yeah,
you got that knockout power that you can be the fifth round and all of a sudden Robbie catches you and you're like, damn, Robbie just caught him. And he
he
just go
he's had a bunch of fights like that fight in I think it was Strikeforce with Melvin Manhoff. Robbie's leg looked like a piece of raw meat. Like he was kicking his leg off and then just boom, just sleeps Melvin like nothing. But yeah, Colby, that was the most strikes ever thrown like in a fight or in a welterweight fight or something. He threw like 500 and something strikes.
mm-hmm.
Like it was insane. But yeah, I think it was the right move. Just Colby being a good person, and for the camp, for Dustin, for Jorge, for everyone there, Joanna, stuff like that. I think it's good. Move on.
And it's not like no top team can like it's cool like Colby Covington's number one. No, number two now, welterweight. So it's not like anyone can't pick him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there's a ton of like teams around, but you got to think though, there's a lot of guys that train at certain gyms that he could potentially go to,
Mm-hmm.
like in his division that he could potentially fight. So you got to be kind of careful. But
Kind
yeah,
of like Burns and
yeah, Burns is all over that though. He's like, yeah, I don't care. Like it's gonna suck because we're friends and we're training partners and stuff, but let's go. And then especially you got Masvidal with the whole contract negotiation thing, like trying like, oh, give me more money if you can't, if I'm not worth it, release me, stuff like that. It's like, dude, you guys aren't seeing him, John Jones. There was another one. I forget. Well, I think it was part of it was Cejudo. Um, but like, let it go. Like, there's no fans. They're probably not doing that good of numbers. Like, because just nobody thinks really sports are around other than the people that have seen like, oh, UFC's on. Um, and tomorrow's pay per view is going to be interesting. The numbers for it because they did over 700,000 with Gaethje and Ferguson. Um, it's going to be interesting with Amanda as the main event and not really any huge names on the card. But like you got to
I
know,
think
like they're not making that much money.
but And I see I see that point of view, but I also see, I mean, Fight Island's not going to be the cheapest damn thing you can. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but you
Like
gotta
that's not cheap
think
to
too.
buy an island.
Well, yeah, they're not. There's no fans still though. Like, yeah, Fight Island's
Yeah.
gonna be if they market it right, it's gonna be huge. If they run a pay per view on there, it's gonna be ginormous. But especially depending on who they have on it. Um, but if they do it right, they're only gonna make so much money with no fans and a lower pay per view buy. And it's not like Usman sells like crazy. Masvidal is a big name now, but Usman
Mm.
doesn't sell like crazy, so it's
And
hard.
he's
If they did,
asking he's asking for too much money, Usman.
yeah, if they did Masvidal Diaz for like BMF again, then you could probably sell that pretty good. Even though
Yeah,
it
I
doesn't make
see that.
like a huge amount of sense. I mean, yeah, rematch, cool, but it's weird. And then depending on all the dates, there's been a ton of like fight announcements coming up. I think Fight Island, what did Dana say? June 27th. He wants to have it up, like first event.
I thought it was July 11th.
I thought I saw something today that said like June 27th. He wants to have the first one. Let me try to look it up while we're talking. But yeah, Dana wants to be there like for a whole month. Yeah, Dana White says UFC is aiming for Fight Island debut on June 27th. Um, but yeah, that's gonna bring a new dynamic to the viewers. Like people are gonna be talking about it. Like, dude, Dana White bought an island. Like UFC is literally gonna be on an island this weekend. He said he's gonna start releasing pictures of it this week, which I cannot wait for.
Oh yeah, did you see Alexander Gustafsson coming out of retirement?
I am very interested to see who takes that fight. If it's
Uh,
OSP, I don't think OSP stands really a chance.
I saw Fabricio Verdum.
Yeah, if it's Verdum, that eh, like
I mean, it's not gonna be like because Verdum got smacked by I shouldn't say smacked, but he got,
it was weird though. Like and especially like Olenek's just a power, just weird Russian. I'm gonna kill you type guy.
yeah, exactly.
But Gustafson is one of the best strikers in UFC history, and
Uh,
he's going to heavyweight with technique, and he has power.
I just don't see him doing well against guys like Stipe or
No,
Ngannou.
I want to see if he beats Verdum. I wonder if they say Rosenstruik take this.
Ooh.
Like that would kind of be interesting to see because we saw Overeem, who is probably the most technical striker in heavyweight history.
I I
Like
see maybe Overeem versus Gustafson.
that would be awesome.
Like I don't, but we don't create the cards, man.
But with the power that Overeem has, like it could be. It's not obviously it's not Anthony Johnson level, but we saw what Anthony Johnson did to
What if
Gus.
he comes back, man?
He's looking good. He was 230 the other day. I was like, oh my god, he's getting
Dude, I
close.
honestly I wouldn't mind seeing him at heavyweight.
He's scary at heavyweight, but if he fought like if he cuts down to like 220, he's sleeping dudes at heavyweight. Like he does not have to be 265 to sleep guys. He could
If
be
he was like
210 and say Ngannou what's up. But like it's that level where he touches you and you go to sleep.
oh man.
But for him to
Bro,
not just be trying to get down to 265, for him showing like, hey, I'm at 230 and light heavyweight's developing, like within the next few by end of the year, like New Year's Eve, you think he can cut 25 pounds by New Year's Eve? 6 months? Over six
yeah.
months?
Yeah.
Like it's terrifying to know that there's a decent, not too great of a possibility that we could get Jones Rumble Santos, Rumble Reyes. Like there's the knockouts that are
Bro,
coming
it's
to whatever
insane.
division he goes to.
It's insane to think that Rumble wants to fly at welterweight.
He said it the other day when he posted that 230. He said, "I'm going back down to 170." I was like, "No," but
Like that's insane to think of, man.
yeah, it's he just kept getting bigger and bigger. Like he had his run at 170, then 185, and then he was up at 205 for a little bit, and then he was off for a while, and then he came back at like 265 and just looked like friggin' I don't even know what. Just
Definitely a guy you won't want to mess with.
Yeah, like he shoulder bumps you and you lose your arm. Like it's insane how big he was at 265, and it's insane that anyone accepted a fight against him, because everyone that did does not remember it.
Yeah, so I'm seeing for Fight Island, the Sun, which I don't trust them because like I'm a big soccer fan, so like the Sun, it's a UK sports website, and it says June 27th, but like Bleacher Report says July 11th. But I don't trust them. I don't trust the Sun because they just give off false information.
Yeah, I was watching an interview with Dana, and he said June 27th. I forget who exactly is on that card, but it'll be good. Like we can get. You don't even realize like the big names that are trapped in other countries that can go to this now.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was telling, I think it was Dan Patrick. He was saying like I'm gonna burn all my American talent, and then it's gonna be it's gonna be guys that can't fight because they're recovering, or there's nobody for them to really fight, because you don't realize how many international guys are in the rankings. But this is the best thing they could have done, really. Like the whole island thing, just getting guys there, and we got to see how the next few months go with how Khabib and Izzy and Volkanovski, all those guys, how they're going to get here. But
let's transition to baseball, man.
I was so disappointed.
Like, what is going on, dude?
Like, yeah, it's a lot. Like they were doing I get the number wrong all the time. 114 games were they trying?
Yeah, I saw it was. I think it was 114, but then they would have to play every day if that was the case.
Yeah, I saw another one where they want to go like way shorter, like 40 something games.
I thought it was like 50, 60.
Yeah, I've been seeing it like he's like with the other, like with the like the sources, like they all have different things, but yeah, I was disappointed though. But NBA got approved, so that's going to be exciting.
Man, 13 Western Conference teams and 9 Eastern Conference teams, man.
Yeah.
But I don't even think the Wizards are going to do anything.
It could be another one of those weird things, though, like we were talking about before, like where just like a sleeper team is just like, oh my God, you guys have been working, and then they come back and
I just saw that the net for the Nets, they said Kyrie and KD aren't returning this year, and that just disappoints me, man, because I'm a big KD fan. I love KD, and I really do think if the Nets, if both those players came back, like they got a solid bench, and if they could make a run, if they played, I don't think they would beat the Bucks, because that's gonna be a hard series to come back with. But if they played maybe against the Sixers, dude, like I think they could beat the Sixers. So I mean, and now that's not happening, so I it's gonna be Bucks, Celtics, 76ers. Those are the 3 top teams in my opinion in the Eastern Conference. Maybe the Heat have been so like the biggest sleeper team this year, dude. Jimmy Butler has a bunch of players who, like, his leadership is insane, dude. Because he has guys around him. They're not big names. Or they got like Goran Dragic, he's an older guy. He was good, and he's been around the league for a couple of years now, and they're just like, all right, Jimmy, you're in charge. Let's go. And you got guys like Bam Adebayo, who he just made the All-Star team this year, and he came out of nowhere. I mean, I think he's one of the like most improved players in the league this year. So the Eastern Conference has maybe 4 teams that I think that could make some noise there.
Yeah, there's gonna be I think like it's just gonna be the big ones that really kind of take over. Like I've been seeing a bunch of stuff like yeah, whatever, Lakers in four, like or
Yeah.
Bucks in four, Rockets, stuff like that. Like I don't know. It
On
could be a thing like that where the Lakers kind of just take over, the Bucks just take over.
And you still got the Raptors too. I mean, they've been pretty solid without Kawhi Leonard this year. Like
Yeah,
Pascal Siakam has, like he was the most improved player last year, and he's doubled his numbers. So I mean, he can win most improved player again. Like that's insane. But you got Miami who's in fourth. Um, the Pacers were without Oladipo this season. I mean, I think he was playing maybe a couple weeks before the COVID hit, and I mean, and they're fifth seed, and they got Sabonis, who's in my opinion another player who's improved a lot, made the All-Star team this year. Then you got the Sixers, who are the sixth seed, sorry, and the Nets, and then Orlando. So I mean, I don't see any of those teams, the bottom seeded teams, especially since Kevin Durant, Kyrie aren't playing. I don't think they're going to upset the top three seeds. I don't see Orlando beating Milwaukee. I think they might get a game maybe, but I don't really see them doing anything. Brooklyn, I don't think they're going to do anything. Toronto, um, Philly, Boston. This could be a good series. So,
yeah.
and Western Conference, uh, you got the Lakers, who are the number one seed. Clippers, Denver's 3, Utah, OKC, which is another good team that's been surprising this year. CP3 has he's been another guy. Leadership's been helping the young guys around in OKC. You got Gallinari at OKC. He's a solid player. The Rockets. That's another scary team. If Harden and Westbrook decide to go off together, and they don't have a center, so they play small ball and they're quick and they can shoot lights out. So that's another team that can kill you. I remember watching a game. It was Houston and LA, and I think it was maybe the first game after they traded Clint Capella of the Rockets. I think it was the first or second game, but they just they made the Lakers look bad, dude, just because they were playing small ball, and your big cannot guard from the outside. I'm sorry, you can't. So, and you got Dallas, Luka and KP. Don't know how they're doing in this off season. Heard rumors that Luka is looking a little chunky. That's just rumors though. Since this whole COVID-19 thing, you got Memphis. Man, Memphis is so good, dude. They're so young. You got Ja Morant. Probably rookie of the year, maybe. I mean, hopefully. I'm gonna be mad if they get to Zion. And you got Portland, who's in the bubble, New Orleans, and Sacramento and San Antonio. Wait, why is so? I don't understand why they said 13 teams. Oh yeah, I think Sacramento and San Antonio. Maybe Phoenix is with them too. I don't remember. But there's a lot of teams in the West that are going to Orlando. That's how close they are.
Yeah,
But we won't be seeing.
it's going to be a lot of like how they can play, especially after this long time off. Like it's going to be like, what if the Lakers can't play to their full like capacity? Like what if the Bucks aren't as good, or like you said, like what if Luka doesn't have the same kind of spark and he's not really in shape? Like the guys like physique and like their stamina and everything is going to be a huge thing. I feel like who's really been working and like trying to stay in like that in season shape.
And you know what's crazy, dude? Is all right. So, have you seen the schedule for what they plan on doing after the season's done? Like, they expect the season to end October 12th if it goes to if the finals go to a game 7. So, and they expect the next season to start December 1st. That's when they're planning on starting the next season. So I don't know if they're going to cut games out for next season, or if they're going to, like, you know what I mean? Because there's 82 games played in the season. So, and it usually starts around, I want to say mid-October, end of October. It varies. So I don't know how that's going to play out. I also saw that the home teams want their announcers there, which I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. But
I saw another thing too, saying they want to like pump like 2K crowd noise into the games.
that's another thing I saw. Yep, I'm reading that right now.
It was weird. Like they were gonna do that. I think Fox wanted to do that with like NFL games, like for crowd noise. It's like why? Like they're not there. It's just weird.
Yeah, seeing like I said in the last podcast, a lot of soccer games been doing that. I don't mind it because it's weird without the crowd there. Like I'm not going to lie, but it's also weird hearing crowd noise and there's no crowd there. So
That, or you could be the Atlanta Falcons and pump crowd noise in when you do have a crowd there. That was one of the weirdest things like I've ever seen when they did that. It was like, why? Like I get it to mess up like the other team's communication and stuff, but like that's kind of sad. Like you got teams like Kansas City who have the loudest stadium in the country, and then you have Atlanta who has to pump volume into a dome. Like KC is outside, and they're the loudest one, and you have to pump crowd noise into a dome in Atlanta. Like that's kind of a.
So here's what the NBA releases for key dates for restart, draft, free agency in 2020 and 21 season. All right, so they wanted free agency to start on October 18th. They want – all right, so let's start actually from the beginning. Training camps start from will begin June 30th and then travel to Orlando on July 7th. The 22-team regular season to determine the playoff teams will then begin July 31st. Free agency will reportedly start on October 18th after the conclusion of the season. The NBA is targeting a start date of November 10th for the next season of 2020 and 2021, and they expect the openers to start December 1st. And so for the draft, they expect the draft lottery to start August 25th, and the 2020 NBA draft on October 15th. So it's going to be a quick offseason, dude, and don't really like it.
Depends on how everything goes too, because they're predicting another like round of Corona too, aren't they?
I haven't heard, but that does not shock me. But also with this going on, like you gotta think it's football season now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's America's sport. I hate to say it, like people will get mad at me for saying that. Like I don't, but once football's on, like starting at least, that's the
own a day of the week. Like Sundays is football. Like
yeah, exactly. Even Saturdays, man.
Yeah, Saturday's college, Sunday, Monday, Thursday.
So to having them do that, and I mean, I love the NBA Finals, I truly do. But once football season starts, baby, I'm in it. You know what I mean?
And you got two this year. You're not missing a game.
Trash, dude. My team is complete trash, and I'll still watch them.
You got Tua though, so.
Oh, we got Tom Brady-less Patriots this year, so anything can happen. I expect the Bills to win though, but I think the Dolphins are going to come around soon. They're super young.
That's going to be interesting to see how they go about their season too. It's all there's really only two people like places that have been doing it right, UFC, and then you got WWE and AEW. They've been going like pretty good. They've been, like you said, they've been kind of bringing in like different guys into the crowd to kind of make their, kind of add a little bit of an audience thing to it. They've been, but they never really stopped. I don't think WWE missed a show.
Nope. No, I don't think AEW did either.
Yeah, they ran WrestleMania like right away. They're like, yeah, we're not going to do it in Tampa, but we'll do it. We'll do it right here,
Yep.
just at the Performance Center.
And honestly, I did not mind watching it. I thought it ran pretty well, especially with the circumstances that were happening at the time. Some good matches was that I don't think we would ever see the AJ Styles versus Undertaker match. The graveyard. It was like pre-recorded. It looked like a movie. So and it was
like those cinematic matches were really cool.
And you had the Bray Wyatt and John Cena match. I love that match, and they got a lot of like hate from it because a lot of people don't understand it. So, but that was like my favorite match because like Cena's always been to me the modern day Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah. For sure.
And what they did with that was like when Hulk Hogan went to WCW, he even got that heel turn, and John Cena never did. That's where that went to, and I just enjoyed it. I was like, this is some amazing stuff that's happening right now. But a lot of stuff that's been happening in WWE lately, like Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are expecting a baby. So Becky Lynch had to give up her title, the women's title, and I thought it was cool how they did it because Asuka won the Money in the Bank a few weeks ago, and the night after no one knew what was going on, and they had Asuka come out, and she said something like, Becky's like, I'm giving up this title now because I'm gonna be a mom, and it was just awesome seeing like Asuka's like she was in character, and then she broke out of character because like they're friends outside, you know what I mean, like
yeah.
So, and I thought that was awesome. You have the for AEW, they had a pay-per-view, I want to say 2 weeks ago. Last week, 2 weeks ago. And it was crazy, dude. Cody won the TNT championship. And I think the show afterwards, the Revival, FTR, that's what they are now. They were previously on WWE, and then they jumped ship and they went to AEW. So a lot of things have been happening, man. And NXT takeovers this Sunday. I like the main cards, like the main rosters, like Raw and SmackDown, but NXT is my favorite because they focus more on the wrestling than they do on the entertainment. So NXT takeover in your house, man. That's some old wrestling fans remember In Your Houses because those were the pay-per-views back in the mid 90s, early 90s when WWF was around. So NXT takeover in your house pay-per-view has Mia Yim, Tegan Knox, Shotzi Blackheart versus Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. I expect Candice LeRae and them to win. Finn Balor, I don't know if you know who Finn Balor is.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Priest. I expect Finn to win that. Tommaso Ciampa and Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is, bro, if you want to look up crazy entrances, like literally, like Karrion Kross's entrance is so badass, dude. I'm being dead honest. And I love Ciampa, but Karrion's gonna win this obviously because he just debuted a few weeks ago. So, and then you have the NXT North American Championship with Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano. This is a hard one because I love Johnny wrestling, but I don't like his heel turn. I'm iffy with them, really iffy with it. But I think they give Johnny Gargano this one because he's doing okay as a heel. It's just weird because he's like the Daniel Bryan of NXT with just the ultimate face, and it's just weird seeing him as a heel. Then you have Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. Part of me wants to say I think Charlotte loses her title but I want to say they gave it to EO. Just because like I remember going to NXT Takeover Chicago, and she got like she's a heel, and she got like a lot of cheers, man. Like crowd went insane. But Rhea Ripley's in a whole different level though. She's super young, and I don't know, she's so talented. And then the main event, the NXT Championship with Adam Cole versus Velveteen. Things that are going on with Velveteen right now, like I don't know if he got caught. Someone like with basically child pornography, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I guess someone sent him nudes and they were under the age of 18.
Yeah, it's kind of a. Wasn't
And
that same thing with like that Enzo dude?
yeah, so I don't know how you can give like I I don't know how much of it's true. But I just don't see you giving your main title, your title that's like, you know, you win the main title, you're the top superstar like on that show. You know what I mean? And I just don't see, especially if that's true. Like I just don't see it happening. Like I just don't see Velveteen winning because of that. Like that's not a good look, and it wouldn't be a good look for their company.
Yeah, no, I don't. They'll probably have him lose, and they'll kind of just get, faded out a little bit.
But I mean, who knows how much of it's true? Things happen. I hope it's not true because Velveteen is so charismatic, dude. So, but man, a lot of things happening in the sports world now. About time.
Yeah, it's been there was a few months there where it was getting hard. Like
Yeah,
Dana was saying, you don't realize how much you need live sports.
like NASCAR's been doing solid. I just saw them release the schedules for other soccer leagues, so I'm super excited for the Watch United play. They play June 19th and they play against one of the top clubs in Europe, in England actually, against Tottenham. So it's gonna be a good game. It's just gonna be weird, no fans. Um, I'm trying to think what else is going on.
No,
Um,
there's not too much other than like the NBA's coming back, UFC's been back, WWE, AEW, NXT. It's about all the other. I think boxing's kind of back.
man, boxing's been something, man.
I don't
Man,
like it without like unless it's Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Canelo,
Triple G, man.
Triple G.
I'm still mad at they gave Canelo that win against Triple G.
Yeah, that I try not to think about that. That was bad.
Like I was like I don't even really watch boxing. And I'm pissed.
Yeah, that like Lomachenko is always fun because it's you get guys that think they can beat him, and it's like, oh my god, you're on a different level.
So do you think you know how much boxers get paid? Like the top notch boxers, like.
Hmm.
Do you think that MMA fighters deserve to get that pay, that kind of pay?
Like Dana was saying, you don't like you can be the greatest of all time, like John Jones, all you want, but you got to sell. That's why Conor McGregor made $100 million to fight Floyd Mayweather because he sells.
Well, the thing is like boxing to me. Like, all right, so you have UFC, who they can put 4 top guys on one card, and they'll advertise like there's 4 top guys on this card. Let's buy this pay-per-view. Whereas boxing, you have I couldn't tell you who the hell else was fighting on that card with Triple G and Canelo. Like I have no clue.
But you got to look at their
Because
paychecks. You got to look at their paychecks too, though.
but I'm saying they market the hell out of the main event, and that's what the difference is, in my opinion.
Yeah, you got to look. You got to look at what the other guys are making because you see a lot of like when Khabib and Poirier fought. Khabib made I think well over. I forget what he made. He's made some ridiculous million, like some odd dollars, and
Was it 10 or 15?
Yeah, and then the prelims, like there was some guys that were maybe 20 grand, 10 grand.
Yeah.
Like you gotta realize, like, yeah, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder make all this money like that Jones wants, but you got to look at what the guys under them are making, and the contracts are different. Boxing's kind of, like, hey, we'll give you, like, it's ESPN Plus or whoever saying, hey, we'll give you this much to fight this guy. It's dangerous, like, for their careers. Like, if Tyson Fury loses to Deontay Wilder, if he gets knocked out, that hurts his career.
Hurt.
Yeah, but there's not that many top guys. Like Tyson
Mm-hmm.
and Deontay are the biggest guys. Like if say Khabib loses, like there's so many other guys at lightweight for him to fight.
And he can go right back to where he was.
Yeah, it's kind of high risk, high reward.
Whereas isn't Carlos Ruiz and Anthony Joshua at heavyweight as well?
Yeah, but I mean, Ruiz, come on.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying.
But yeah, Joshua's the same thing. But it's, again, like, they have complications. Joshua doesn't want to fight Wilder. He doesn't want to fight Fury. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, come on, let's get it going.
Well, it'll just hurt like his basically his paycheck pretty much, in my opinion. Like, that's how he sees it. It's gonna hurt. Like, if he loses to one of those guys, it's gonna hurt him.
Yeah, Eddie Hearn and all them always find a way to get those guys paid, though. Boxing is just, it's a whole different level. It's, the judging is corrupted. The commissions are all corrupt. It's hard to watch.
It's been corrupted for years, man.
Yeah, boxing is just, there's an old video of Joe Rogan and Lou DiBella on SportsCenter, and it was corrupt way before even that. And Joe was saying, like, your sport is getting swallowed by the UFC. Like, boxing's dying.
The only thing that, like, really makes me mad about this is, like, I wish the UFC rolled in the money that boxing does to pay their fighters, because I think fighters should get paid at least fairly decent. I'm not saying every fighter deserves to make $1 million a year, because that's, like,
Yeah,
you can be the worst fighter and you're like, oh, I'm making $1 million a year and I'll take losses in UFC. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, I wouldn't say they're under, like who you fight is how much you're gonna be. Like, if I was like a top guy, let's say top 3, and I was fighting Conor McGregor, like, I'm expecting to get, I'm not gonna get as much as Conor McGregor's getting paid, but I'm gonna get a fairly decent paycheck because I'm fighting a guy like Conor McGregor. Like, it depends on the fighters you're fighting. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you get pay-per-view points, and especially, like, if you fight like Conor or Cowboy, when he fought Conor, he got paid. He got destroyed in 40 seconds, and he got paid pretty good. Not nearly as much as Conor, but he got paid because he's fighting Conor and he's in that fight. And you both get the pay-per-view points. You both get a part of the pay-per-view buys. You get a part of the gate. You get all that. But if it's Jessica I, Cynthia Calvillo, you can't expect to get paid that much. Neither one of you sell. Cynthia's lost, I don't even know how many fights. Jessica I just got murdered. Like, it's hard, like, to kind of, you can argue both ways, but in the end, you got to be able to sell. You got to be able to make the company money.
Like, look at Jorge Masvidal versus Nate Diaz. That got a lot of money coming in because
yeah, they both sell. They marketed it well. It's the BMF. They got the Rock in on it. Nate Diaz is a huge name. Masvidal just got the fastest UFC knockout. It's huge. You can sell.
Jorge was coming off wasn't he 2019 Fighter of the Year?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it should have been Adesanya, but they gave it to Masvidal because he got the knockout.
Oh, and then that Ben Askren knockout, like, yeah, that was insane. Like, I was on video watching this at V-Dubs, and I saw that, and I was just like, I was in Chicago, and I saw, I was with one of my friends. We went to Chicago to visit his aunt, and we stopped by the B-Dubs. So I was like, I'm not missing this damn card, dude, because this card is insane. And we're at B-Dubs watching it. Once that knockout, like, everyone goes, oh my God. Like, literally, that's how everyone, like, B-Dubs is, like, going crazy. And honestly, I like that knockout's insane, but that Darren Till knockout, that gets slept on, dude.
Yeah, it just got overshadowed by the Askren one.
Because that Darren Till one, he was fighting at Till's hometown and he just murked him.
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise. Masvidal was kind of just one of those gatekeeper names, not really that big, and they gave him a big name until, and that was it. He slept him.
But a lot of stuff happening this weekend, man.
Yeah, can't wait. We'll talk about fights tomorrow on Monday. Hopefully, it's a good night. Is there anything else you got?
You want to place a bet of how much P3 commercials we're going to see?
I hope they don't run the Cerrone one, but if they do, I say 12.
12? I'll say 20.
All right. All right, cool. So that just about wraps things up for us here today. Be sure to follow us on social media at NN Experience for news in the world of sports and news about our next show. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time right here on the Nick and Nolan Experience.